Welcome to Chef Richard's Kitchen. I'm Chef Richard Miller. On our last episode, I made a dry spaghetti mix, and pretty much we're going to use this to make, dinner on the fly, make it quick, make it inexpensive, whatever. I showed you how to make a pint of dry spaghetti mix here, and now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and let's use it. So here's the episode where we're going to go ahead and make spaghetti. And in this case, this could be, vegetarian or vegan, because I don't know anything that has animal products in it. We just use basically, corn flour and herbs and brown sugar in there. And we're going to be using a little tomato paste and water. And so that would go well with either one. What I want to do though is I'm going to put just a little bit of ground beef, and what we're going to have is spaghetti and meat sauce. So let's go ahead and let's get started. The first thing we want to do when we're using our mix here is start out with about 2 1/4 cups of water. And I'm probably going to pause here for a little bit, because what I want to do is, I want to let this warm up, because we want to get it to about the boiling stage, but not quite. So give me a minute and we'll be right back. All right, our water's heated up nicely, so let's go ahead and let's put in our next ingredient, which is a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. Okay, let's go ahead and whisk this. All right, now let's go ahead and I'm gonna start out with 2 tablespoons of our mix, and usually a packet is 2.5, somewhere around in there. So we're going to go ahead and start with 2. If it's a little too bland for you, what do? Put a little more in. Actually, it tastes real good, but I'm going to put just a little bit more in here. Maybe about half a tablespoon. I don't want to put too much, because I don't want it to overpower. Also remember that the bulk of the herbs that we put in there are dried herbs. And so until they rehydrate and start melding in, we're not going to get the full flavor of it. So what I want to do is, this is thickening up real well. As we saw on the episode where I made the mix here, we put some cornstarch in there, so that way when it heats up and boils, it's going to thicken a little bit, because we don't want the sauce runny. We want it to, stick on the pasta. We want it to be a little thicker. So all right, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to turn this down, and I'm going to turn it down to about 180 degrees, because what I want it to do is I want it to simmer, and I want the herbs, to all, rehydrate, to meld all their flavors together. And I'll probably, we'll go ahead and we'll let it simmer while I brown a little ground beef, and then while we go ahead and cook the pasta. By that time, we'll be able to give it a final taste, add anything that we need to at that point, and then it's time to plate. So, give me a little bit, and I'll be right back. Don't go far. I know you want to come back. I sure want you to come back. It's been probably about 20 minutes or so. I went ahead and I browned the ground beef. I was planning on putting a little more salt and pepper in, but I don't think it's needed. So let's go ahead and get the ground beef. And let's go ahead and just stir that in. Now we'll go ahead and let that simmer a little bit more. Now, while the camera was off, I went ahead and I made some garlic bread. All right? And really all I did was I cut an Italian loaf into, about 3/4 inch wide pieces. Took and put some softened margarine or butter, whatever you want to put on there, and then some kind of an Italian cheese. And in this case, I'm using a harder or firmer type of cheese. I'm using Parmesan and Asiago. So chances are it's not going to melt down into a real smooth finish, but it's certainly going to have the flavor that I'm looking for. So anyway, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off here again, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cook the spaghetti, mainly because I don't have a camera over on the stove. So hang with me, I'll be right back. All right, while I've been waiting and letting the sauce here simmer, I went ahead and I put the garlic cheese bread in there, and that was just butter, some garlic powder, and some Italian cheese blend. And I went ahead and I cooked the pasta or the spaghetti. So the only thing we have left to do is plate. So let me go over and get some pasta here. I got the pasta and I also got a little bit of the garlic cheese bread. So now let's go ahead and ladle our sauce. Over the top here. All right. Now, what do we have left to do? Just pretty much garnish it. And I've got a little piece of basil here that I'm going to use for that. So here we are. This is probably the easiest spaghetti you'll ever make. Go ahead and make the mix first. That way you'll have plenty on hand when you come home. As long as you've got some pasta and a little 6-ounce can of tomato paste or some tomato sauce, that'll work too. You can go ahead and make spaghetti. You know, it's easy, it's delicious, your family's gonna love it, and you know, probably the most important, you know, it's gonna sure save you lots and lots and lots of time. Now, if we just went ahead and we made the pasta and the original sauce, we're looking at less than probably $1 a person to serve this. If we add the ground beef in there, obviously we've added some more, and we've added some more when it comes to the garlic bread. So, now, one last thing that I want to do, and I often do this, is I want to just take and grate a little cheese on top. All right? It just really wouldn't be Italian without a little Parmesan Reggiano or something like that on the top. So, anyway, here we go. Please give it a try. I'd love to hear how it comes out. Please leave me a comment. Send me an email at chefrdmiller@att.net and let me know how it comes out. I always enjoy getting comments from my viewers. It really makes me feel like we're doing something worthwhile. So, anyway, thank you again for joining me this episode. Take care. God bless. Remember that cooking should always be fun. Never let it be anything but. And I'll look forward to seeing you next episode. All right? Bye for now.